Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and today we're back on with the Amiga, and I've had a package arrive. Basically what we've got here is the RAM upgrade that I'd ordered. So we're going to have a look at fitting this and look at a bit of a fail that I've had. I've got a hard drive working in the Amiga. Well, when I say a hard drive, I got a compact flash card in an adapter working as a hard drive in this. And actually, if you've seen my previous video when I was fiddling about with the tank mouse, if you'd noticed, you might have seen hard disk on the screen in the background. Because I got it all up and running absolutely brilliantly. Got Workbench 3 on there, and got the Amiga 600 to boot from Workbench, and I got all the games I wanted to play, which are a pain to play from floppy disk. Even with the GoTech, they're a pain. Things like Day of the Tentacle, and Monkey Island, Secret of Monkey Island, anything like that that's many discs. Most of them for the Amiga actually have a hard drive install option on them. So I had quite a few of the games that I wanted to play. I just got back into playing. What was I playing the other night? Leisure Suit Larry in the Land of the Lounge Lizards. I was getting on playing through that, and I thought, right, it's all working really nicely. I've got a few of these SanDisk cards. Got a load of these from previous employer of mine. They've been used for playing little adverts at conferences, and they're 512 meg. They only were playing like a 5-minute advert, and we had loads of them, so you could just swap them out. But after that job ended, they ended up stuck in a drawer at work for ages, and eventually they just found their way home with me. But they're not much use for a lot of stuff, but I think they're absolutely great for, like Amiga 600. I've used quite a few in old PCs to replace like 500 meg hard drives on them. Like 486 early Pentium era stuff. You don't need massive hard drive unless you're going to cram the things full of stuff. So I know that they work well as an IDE hard drive. That's why I thought I'd try them in one of these, and it worked brilliantly. But in fact, I'll just go through the procedure how I got this to work. So I've used a piece of software I'd not used before. It's a PD hard drive software for the Amiga. If I just get this to load, is it HD Toolkit or something like that? It's called. It should load up in a second. Here. There we go, HD Inst Tools. It's a piece of public domain software. Mainly because I couldn't find the proper install software for the Amiga 600. Hard drive install software. I couldn't find an ADF download or anything for it. I've got original Workbench 3. But it's for the 1200. It's the like the AGA version. I don't think even like the install disc for that would work. They're saying that disc's dodgy anyway. When I last did the HD install on my 1200, that disc it only just worked. Anyway, I managed to download this, and it worked really well. But what I found, it's a bit of a mither to get going. What I found the best thing to do. You take the icon for the HD, it's HD Inst 2 rather than the HD Toolbox. You've got some docks, you've got HD Backup, HD Toolbox, and HD Inst 2, which is install. If you grab hold of that one, drop it in your RAM disk. Remember, bear in mind, I've only got a mega RAM on this thing at the moment, but it does fit. It does fit. So that's in there. We can go back to Workbench. See, this is the problem. If you try and run it off its disk, then it's forever asking you to swap back to the Workbench disk. As in, more times than it makes it worth using the software. If you drop it into your RAM disk and go back to your Workbench disk, it'll just work straight off. You can run it from the RAM disk. We'll run it now. Because I've got the hard drive in there. You see, scanning for devices. and this is the problem I'm having now. So when I first did it and I put the card in, it's this card actually, I put this card in and it came up SanDisk. It actually recognised it as a SanDisk and it recognised it as 512 megabytes. Now, no matter what compact flash card I put in, like I say, I've got a few of these and I've tried a couple of other brands, it just comes up like this. So it sees that there's something there, but it can't see that it's actually the hard drive. And I thought, oh, you know, it's just a buggered card. But no, I've tried cards. I mean, obviously this one's formatted for the Amiga now because this actually did work. But I've tried cards that won't read in this. But I just shove them in the PC and they come up straight away. So I don't think it's anything wrong with the cards. What I think's happened, well, I know what's happened. It's my SD to IDE adapters basically buggered. I'll shut down because we're going to go inside this computer anyway and have a quick squiz about, because I want to see if we can put that memory board in and see whether it's actually working. See, actually, like I say, it sees that there's something there. It's just it won't recognise the hard drive. And I've even tried the standard IDE SCSI. It's not, sorry, a standard IDE 2.5-inch hard drive there, and it'll see that. So I know it's not the interface on the board. I know it's not the actual compact flash cards themselves. So it's the only thing. Well, it's got to be the IDE to compact flash adapter. I'll go into that in a second when we get in there. Anyway, right. Let's shut this down a bit. In fact, let's go to this 2. I've basically got disc 1, 2, 3 and 4 on this USB stick as workbench discs 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I've got extras here. We'll open that up. Tools, is it? I'm still finding my way around the Amiga because, like I said, it's a long time since I did anything. And we've got show config. What's it disk again? So you don't have any of this once you've got a hard drive in it. If you're actually in the workbench environment, it makes it far nicer to use. But as you can see, we're completely unexpanded here. It's the 1 meg. As you can see there, I've just got 1 meg. So what we'll do, we'll shut the computer down. Turn the computer off actually. I'll stick my anti-static strap on, seeing we're going to be opening this box. Well, I've already opened it. I mean, it was well packed, this. The only problem is the guy had packed it in the box by basically just completely wrapping the whole thing in bubble wrap. There was no anti-static precaution whatsoever. This is one of the problems with getting stuff just off random people on eBay. Not everyone's fully aware of static precautions, but here we have it. You can see this here. I'm sorry about the lighting's not brilliant in here today, but yeah, basically this is what we've got. This is a 1 meg. I presume it's 1 meg. I presume these are 256k sims. You've got 4 256s to make up 1 meg. I think am I right in thinking that the Amiga 600 can only have 2 meg? So there'd be no point putting like 1 meg sims in here or anything, would there? But as well as being a RAM expansion, it also has a little real-time clock unit. Now the chap that I bought this off did say, he said basically the unit's fully working. It was cheap, this. I only paid £15 and I think that included delivery. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I have a feeling that actually included the delivery as well. If not, the delivery weren't very much. But what the chap did say is he took it out of his 600 about 18 months ago or so, and it's been sat in a drawer. He said he did try it, it is working, but he thinks that the battery has started to fail on it, so it'll probably need a new backup battery. And it's not your standard is it the CL32 or what have you. This is a DL2032, So I'll have to look that up and just get a replacement for that anyway. I'm not sure what the actual difference is. I'll look into that, find out what the actual difference is. But yeah, so we've got a little real-time clock module, and then we have the 1 meg there, and it just seemed to use just standard 256k 30-pin sims in there. So let's see whether this is going to work. We should see straight away on the memory whether it's actually working or not. But I'm not sure how to test the real-time clock module, whether that's up and running. I mean, if it was, if I had my hard drive working, it'd be no problem, because I've put loads of diagnostic software and all sorts on that hard drive. Anyway, let's. I've still not got it screwed together, obviously, because I'm still playing. But hopefully, we can do this without completely disassembling the whole computer again. We'll disconnect the power, and if we're really careful, we can hinge the keyboard up. In fact, I might just switch the TV off. I don't want to squidge all the cables behind it. Right, so we carefully lean that back like that. You can see how I've actually got the hard drive or the SD card mounted here. Basically, this cable is a little bit long, but it's the only IDE cable, the 2.5-inch style IDE cable I actually had lying around. But we're connected up, and what I've done, I've stuck a couple of little blocks of wood in the original cradle, and then used some double-sided tape to stick the micro SD card, the compact flash reader down. Now I don't know whether this is what happened, because before, when I first got it working, and you saw it, like I said, if you'd seen my other video and you saw it with the hard drive icon on the screen. Excuse me. Basically, what I'd done, I had it all connected up, but I literally had that board just lying inside the computer. I hadn't bothered fitting it into the bracket or anything at that point, and it worked perfectly. And then I thought, no, I'm going to neaten it up, and I started doing the video after I'd fixed my mouse. That was the reason why I made that video, because I was just ready to do it, and the mouse started acting up. So I thought, we'll do that quick video, and then I'll do the video about doing this. So anyway, I basically cut a few pieces of wood and mounted them in there, and mounted the compact flash adapter to it. Put the card back in, connected all the computer back up. It wouldn't see the hard drive. I must have spent a couple of hours troubleshooting, to the point that I pulled this out, put a card that I've got DOS and Windows on it, and put it in a computer, and it still wouldn't see it. I then spent a long time with my little microscope, and I found that there was a couple of the connections on the board, on the actual compact flash adapter there. The solder joint had broken, they'd actually come loose. Now I've tried and I've tried, I've reflowed the solder on there about 4 or 5 times now, and first time I did it I managed to get all the pins to connect and everything seemed happy, but I managed to bridge a couple of the connections, and it took me ages and ages to remove those bridges. I mean, lots of flux, lots of solder, but I did manage to actually get them off, but it just won't work. I have a feeling it is something to do with that connection there. I mean, I wasn't being particularly rough with it, but this is, I mean, I've had that compact flash to IDE adapter for years. I think it's the first one I ever bought, actually. Anyway, I've ordered a new compact flash to IDE adapter. I'm just hoping I can just plug that in and it'll work, and when it does, if it does, I'll make that video again of actually how I set the card up and everything, because I mean, a lot of people use a PC and WinUAE and what have you to set an SD card, or a compact flash card up to work on their Amiga, and it's quite easy to do it if you can get the correct files onto a USB stick and you've got a GoTech in there. It's quite easy to do it that way. It takes quite a while for the hard drive to format. I mean, these are only 512 meg, and it took best part of an hour to format, but it worked. I could get everything I wanted on there, so I was really happy with it until it just stopped working. But we'll sort that in another video. Let's see if my RAM expansion's going to work. Now, I think, yeah, you can't get it in from this way because of those little plastic tabs there, can you? So it has to go in from the bottom. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can pop the trapdoor out. Now, I suppose really I should disassemble the whole Amiga, shouldn't I, and disconnect all the cable and everything. But let's see if we can be naughty. I think we'll have to pull that through first. And to be fair, I don't know where that's going to live. Then pull that up. I don't know whether this is an improvement or not over the 500 and the 500 plus, because then we had a big row of pins, didn't you, for the expansion connector, as where this just has like a little edge connector. But then again, this is just a RAM expansion as far as I'm aware. Your other expansion really was your PMCA slot, weren't it, on these, like the 600 and the 1200? So I guess that's right, it's just for RAM. Right, it seems to have gone in. So we can put the I hate putting these on 600s. They always seem really you always feel like you're going to break them as you're putting them back in place. What's in there? Go on. Oh no, the bottom's popped back out now. I tell you what, I might just have to just pause the video while I just get this this bloody thing in. Unless it'll go now, will it? Is it going to go? Oh, there we go. That's it, popped in. It can always be a bit of a pain them to fit. Anyway, that's the RAM expansion in place. Question is, where's this going to live? I suppose it could go down there. I don't really want to just stick it to the top of a chip or anything. I mean, it has got someone stuck some card on the back of it, and I'm not sure whether they've had it just stuck. I suppose for now, just to test it, we just fold it in like that. I mean, it's got card on the bottom of it, so it can't short on anything. And we'll have to figure out a better mounting position for that. I don't want it just floating around inside the computer. That's why I went to all the trouble of mounting that, you know, in that frame and everything to make it look decent. Right, we'll make sure that that's pushed in all right, which it is. Let's close the computer up and we'll see whether we get get that in, and we'll see if it's going to work. See if we get any more memory. Right, there we go. That'll do for now. It's not back together perfectly, but obviously it won't be until the hard drive's finished. Let's power the monitor back on. Tune back in. Right, let's switch that on. And hopefully the Amiga should boot up. And the disk drive lights come on, so I presume that's booting to Workbench again. Well, that's weird. I did try getting that working on the Amiga, but I didn't have any luck getting that to actually work. But saying that, I've never had any much luck getting one of them to work on a PC either. That's the what's it called? SD to ID adapter. There's a bit more technology involved in one of them though. But anyway, right, so let's see. Yes, I think we're right. I think we've got an extra meg. Because shouldn't it be 890992 or something about there? If you've just got 1 meg in there, and we've got an extra 1 in front of it, so I think we've got 2 meg of chip RAM now. I think, yeah, it's chip RAM, isn't it? Let's see what that thing says. See, I don't know whether the real-time clock's been recognised or anything. I'm not sure exactly how to see. I know if I had them diagnostics that I was playing with the other night that were on the hard drive, the stuff that had recognised the real-time clocks, there's clock tests and stuff on there. Let's see, show config. Let's just see if this is going to show it up. Oh yeah. Go back to disk 1 so it don't complain. There we go. Well, it's definitely showing us it's got 2 meg of RAM now. So that's working, but I still don't know whether the real-time clock's working. I can't see anything here mentioning it. It says boards none, but I presume that's looking like for like accelerator boards and things like that. No, there's nothing on there that's... So if anyone can tell me a good way to test that real-time clock's actually working on this, will you let me know? And we'll just, you know, if there's an ADF file I've got to download that you can recommend that'll just allow me to test it, that'd be handy. If not, if there's anything in Workbench that would definitely test that it's working, that'd be handy. But so the computer's working absolutely fine. My disk drive swap mod works fine. I still haven't got round to fixing that disk drive yet, or the top one on there. That one works most of the time. It's not. It needs a service, but it does work all right. That doesn't seem to recognise disks, as though it does seem to see there's a disc there, but it comes up with every disc as unformatted. So hopefully we can get that one working. And that one, it seems to attempt, it does a couple of seeks of the disc and nothing else, so that might just need its head cleaning. It might be a bad capacitor, because I remember that used to work perfectly, because I used to use that on my 1200 as a second drive. But anyway, we'll do a video about looking at them disk drives and see if we can get them disk drives into full working order. But at least my RAM card seems to work. If anyone could give me a good idea about testing whether the real-time clock on it's working, you know, I'd appreciate that. And unfortunately, the hard drive's going to have to wait until the new compact flash to ID adapter arrives, and I've got a feeling it's coming from China. I thought I'd picked a UK seller actually, but then when I've looked, I should have looked when I actually ordered it, and it's telling me delivery next month, so it's probably coming from China. I'm just going to wait for it. I might have another go seeing if I can reflow the connections on that one, but if anyone's looked at the connections on a compact flash socket, they are very, very small. I even tried a bit of just hot air on it, but I have a feeling there's still a couple of connections that I've either managed to bridge them inside, they're broken inside, or for some reason it's not working. I don't think it's anything to do with any of the little passive components on it or anything, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. Like I say, it was just a quickish little video just to show my new RAM upgrade for this thing, and say that I'm having hard drive issues anyway. So, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.